Maddie Franz is in Riverside, Iowa with Congresswoman Marinette Miller Meek's campaign. Harrison Belsanti is in Iowa City with her challenger, Christina Bohannon. And Joe Habersham is in Moline with Congressman Eric Sorensen's campaign. And that's where we start tonight. Joe, you've had your eye really on this race for several weeks now.
Yeah, that's right, John. And as you can see right now, I mean, the jacket's off because I'm out here talking to as many people as I can. The biggest thing that people are saying right now, or the biggest concern, has been abortion rights. Now, I have my notes out here, and I want to make sure that I get this one quote as best as I can. A woman that I talked to said, if you're going to separate church and state, you need to separate government and doctors. And that's one of the biggest reasons why people are out here supporting Eric Sorensen. He's out here advocating for women's rights. He's been in favor of codifying Roe v. Wade since, I mean, it was overturned, and he's really trying to establish a nationwide abortion standard. That's one of the reasons. And another one that people have mentioned to me, his Stop Games Act. He's out here trying to reduce the cost of drugs, medications, by reducing the number of application delays that people will end up having to run into for these generic drugs. But people have been so much favor of this man. The campaign says they feel very confident about what's going on tonight. You know, the poll is closed at 7. Nothing we don't have in right now at the moment, but they feel very good and very strong about what's going on.
Joe, I know that you don't have all of the big maps that we do back here in the studio, but I'm looking just off to my side over here. We can see with 3% reporting in Illinois' 17th district, Joe McGraw is leading. Again, that's only about 8,000 votes, give or take, that have been counted so far. Has anyone there at the campaign, are they watching these numbers right now?
Yeah, I talked to one of his campaign managers, and they're saying, look, they've been to all the 14 counties in the area. They say, look, we feel very strong. Numbers are coming in. They're coming in as we get them. But they feel very strongly about where they're at right now. They said it's still very, very early. I mean, look, we're still in the first hour since polls have closed, so you know it's going to take some time before we really get a lot of numbers back in. They feel pretty good though.
So, have you seen Eric Sorensen yet? Has he showed out and started talking to people?
You know what? I'm happy you asked. He is here. We've seen him talking. We tried to get a word from him, but you know he's a busy man at one of these things. Everybody's pulling his ear one way or another. But he is here. He's out here talking to people. And yeah, he's a man of the people. He's mingling with the crowd. So we'll get some more word from him later on tonight once we have a better feeling about what's going on.
All right, Joe, we are looking forward to that. We will definitely be checking back in with you in just a little bit. Of course, we are also keeping an eye on McGraw's campaign. His watch party is in Rockford tonight. We want to give you a live look from that event from one of our affiliates there. Of course, we'll be monitoring this race and the progress there. And of course, if we hear from McGraw at some point, let's say there is a speech given or something like that, we'll hopefully have access to it. We're going to bring that to you as well, even though we don't necessarily at this point have a reporter there at that watch party.
Absolutely. And in Iowa, the big race we are watching is the race of Iowa's 1st congressional district.
Yeah, Maddie Franz is live for us tonight in Riverside, Iowa with Congresswoman Marinette Miller Meeks. Good evening, Maddie.
Hey, good evening, John and Shelby. So I'm at the Riverside Casino, and that's just south of Iowa City. And this is where Representative Marinette Miller Meeks is having her election party. You can see everything is all set up. Now, doors just opened a few minutes ago, so people are still kind of trickling in. We're waiting to see some more people, but their eyes are glued to these national election screens. Now, all day, Miller Meeks has been making her final pitch to voters across the district. She has been driving a lot today. So she started at a bakery in Tipton, and then she went clear across the district to Fairfield for lunch, and then she went clear back across the district to do some door knocking in Pella. Now, this is a very close race that Miller Meeks is running. You've probably seen a lot of ads coming from both sides. Now, that's thanks to the millions of dollars that are coming from super PACs. And according to Ad Impact, which is an advertisement analysis company, they estimate nearly $24 million have been spent on those ads. Now, we don't know exactly when the Congresswoman will be here. She is coming from Pella, which is about an hour-and-a-half drive from here, but we'll be here to catch her speech and any other updates here at the party.
And Maddie, have you got a chance to speak to her campaign at all, just about how they're feeling on a night like this? Because this essentially would be the third race in a row in 6 years, essentially, that has been relatively close.
You know, we haven't spoken to the campaign directly tonight. They've been very busy setting everything up, getting everything in order. But, you know, in a statement released earlier today, they said they were very confident. And the Congresswoman was on Fox and Friends this morning, and she's saying, you know, despite that Seltzer poll that came out last week showing Bohannon with the lead, she's feeling really confident going into this race, and she's expecting a good night tonight.
All right, Maddie. No surprise that she has been all across the district. She always kind of sort of bills herself as a workhorse and someone who does not stop no matter what.
Absolutely. Miller Meeks, of course, running against Democratic challenger Christina Bohannon. Harrison Belsanti is in Iowa City tonight, where Bohannon is looking to unseat Miller Meeks this time around. Of course, she ran against her 2 years ago. Good evening, Harrison.
Yeah, good evening, guys. Tonight we're in Iowa City at the Bohannon election night party, and as you can see, there's quite a turnout here. People are watching the national broadcasts here on TV, seeing which states have been called for Vice President Kamala Harris and former President Donald Trump. However, we're tracking the political rematch in Iowa's 1st congressional district. Bohannon spent the day today talking with many students throughout the district, encouraging them to go out and vote. Democrats nationally are hoping to flip this swing district. A new survey from the Democratic Congressional Campaign Committee shows Bohannon leads Meeks by 4 points in the district, 50 to 46%. A separate poll back in August showed the candidates in a dead heat, signaling a possible surge in support for the Democratic candidate. We talked with Bohannon supporters at tonight's event, and many say women's reproductive health care and the issue of abortion rights are major factors in their voting decision. We talked with one supporter who's hopeful for a Bohannon victory.
I think Christina is fantastic. She is brilliant. She is energetic. She has wonderful job experience for the job. And I just think she laps rings around Miller Meeks. I think she'll go far, even in national politics.
We'll continue to bring you the latest updates here from Iowa City tonight, but for now, though, I'll go ahead and send things back to you guys in the studio.
All right. Thank you so much, Harrison.
And we can't forget Nicholas Gluba. He is the Libertarian running in this race. Now, we checked in with him this evening. He told us his campaign is not having a watch party tonight.
Now, we saw a lot of focus on abortion rights and the economy from other candidates. Gluba was clear his priority was his anti-war stance. Voters, however, did not see his name on the ballot. Gluba ended up having to run a write-in campaign after his party was challenged over how it selected delegates and elected candidates, but all of this could end up having a big impact on this race.